Welcome to the Sail Salvos. We trust that you'll be blessed by this week's video.
Well, this morning we are talking about We Were Voyagers. Those of you who saw the video of Moana a couple of weeks ago, you would have seen the story, and you would have seen that they were Voyagers. We're going to show the video clip in a second, just sort of that section, and hopefully if you haven't seen the movie, it will make a little bit of sense. So, what's the video? It's only going to go for about 3 or 4 minutes, and then we'll have a bit of a chat around the thought that we were Voyagers. We were Voyagers. That girl you saw was Moana. She's the sort of central character of this show. And they were in the sort of the island area of the Pacific. And they were on this island, they were comfortable, they had everything they needed. They had the food, they had animals, they had each other. They all had their own roles to play on this island. But they weren't allowed to go past the reef. If they got on their boats, they could only go to the reef and that was it. They could catch their fish, but they had to come back. And she knew that there was more. She knew there was more for her purpose, more for her being. And here you saw her scream out, "We were Voyagers." Back in 1865, if you know the history of the Salvation Army, that's when William Booth, our founder, founded this movement, the Salvation Army. Around 1865 it became official. You've all heard of William Booth? Right? I think most of you will have heard of William Booth, the founder of the Salvation Army. He started this movement up for the last, the lost and the least. All those people that were excluded from other churches, were excluded from society, all those people that are on the fringes of the world. William Booth wanted them to be included. He included them in this movement called the Salvation Army. So a bit of our history was sort of back in the 1800s, middle 1800s, when William Booth really had this thing on his heart by God to start up this new movement. One of his sons, Bramwell, was walking down, the poor areas of London one night and found all these people sleeping under a bridge. Have you heard that story? There's all these people that Bramwell found sleeping under a bridge, and it just broke his heart. He's going, these guys, it's freezing in London, isn't it? For those of you who used to live in London and being in London, it can be freezing. And these people sleeping under a bridge broke Bramwell's heart. He went to his dad, William Booth, and said, "Dad, there's all these people sleeping under a bridge. Surely, what can we do?" And William, his dad, just said, "Go and do something. Go and do something. We need to do something." So he said, "Go and just do something." That was his answer. His response to his son, just go and do something. I think from there they ended up buying some old factories and making a nice warm place for these guys to sleep. But it was always about doing something, wasn't it? For us, it was always about doing something. And one year, if my history is correct, for a Christmas message, William Booth sent out to all his officers, all of them, just sent one word, because he was limited in his budget, but he also wanted to get the message across pretty succinctly and accurately. So he sent this telegram to all his officers around the world: others. That was all. He sent others. I'm not sure what you think about that straight away, but for William Booth and his officers, it was all about other people. Go out, do something. Wasn't it? It was go out and do something. And that's always, from the very, very start, our DNA for the Salvation Army is to be go and do something. Find those who have need and do something about it. That's pretty much what he said to his son, and still tells us today: go and do something. The world was waiting for the Salvation Army. Back in the late 1860s, 1870s, the world was waiting for the Salvation Army. Whether they knew it or not, the world was waiting for us. All those poor, all those in need, all those on the fringes, all those who were excluded, they were waiting for the Salvation Army to come, to be their salvation. So once the Salvation Army arrived in places like Australia, France, India, America, we went out from London. We didn't stay there. We couldn't stay there. We couldn't be kept in East End of London because the Salvation Army was needed for all the world. The world was waiting for the Salvation Army. Also God. They were waiting for God, but they were, through this vehicle of the Salvation Army. So we went out to Australia pretty soon after, actually, the birth of the Salvation Army. Then they went to America, went to France, they went to, what was it, 127 countries now? I keep losing count because we keep moving forward pretty fast. It's really, really good. So I think about 127 countries around the world. Go and do something. Those words, William to his son Bramwell, keep ringing, doesn't it? Go and do something. If you see need, go and do something. We were voyagers. Can you see that? We were pioneers. We were on the cutting edge of what the world is needing. So in this movie you saw Moana and her relatives, her family, her friends. They were voyagers. So you saw she's had this vision of all her ancestors going out and finding all these new islands. They didn't stay on their islands, but they kept going. They knew how to find new islands. They knew the ropes, to speak. You know. They knew the ropes, didn't they? They knew how to use the stars to navigate. They knew how to use the sun to know where they were going and to get home again, of course. They knew how to, you know, if you saw the movie, they put their hand in the water and they could feel the warmth. And if they felt the warmth, they knew they were going the right way. They knew all these little things of how to be voyagers, how to navigate, how to be people that went out and found new places. How exciting would it be to go out and find new islands, to find new places? Who knows what's out there? Can you imagine these little people on little islands in the Pacific being excited about what is out there? It must be exciting, mustn't it? What is out there? Is there an oasis out there? Is this new island which has a volcano on it? Is it new ecosystems we haven't seen yet? It must be exciting to be voyagers. What is out there that's still to be found? I love how she said with excitement, we were voyagers. We were voyagers. They were pioneers. And so were we as the Salvation Army. Back in the 1800s, we started things like, we were the first cinema. We started the Limelight, what was it called? The Limelight something, wasn't it? Yeah, we invented cinema pretty much, Salvation Army. Yep, the redhead matches from the unsafe matches. We actually started up the redhead matches, which was safer. It stopped the fuzzy jaw and people getting sick and their bones disintegrating. We actually found a good, safe way of making matches. We were after justice for people. We fought for justice, didn't we? What else did we start? Do you know anything else we started as a Salvation Army? That we were pioneers. We were voyagers, so to speak. What else did we start? Sorry?
SAO.
Yep, so biscuits, Salvation Army officer, SAO, and he was, what was his rank? Captain Arnott, I think? Yeah, I think it was Captain Arnott. We started up the Arnott's biscuits. It's pretty cool. We sold it off now, but it's still named after a Salvation Army officer, SAO. One of the things I love, we start up our movement with uniforms. And that has been a blessing for us. There's so many different things. You might see that I'm actually in full blues today. Did anyone notice that? I was waiting for a few comments, but no one, it's alright. No one took the bait. But this is my uniform for the streets. You know, my full blues is nice for the office. But if you're going to get down and get dirty, and we've got a barbecue on today, thanks for us logging in for the first shift. It's going alright?
Yes.
Good.
Slow. Very slow.
Slow, okay, that's alright. But we need to be voyagers, don't we? I couldn't go to a barbecue in my full blues today. It just wouldn't quite work. But it's my uniform, Alexis is in her work uniform as well, so we can get dirty. Because we are voyagers. We were voyagers. You might remember Jesus' last words. Do you remember what his last commandment to his disciples were? Matthew 28, if that helps. Let me read a little bit to you. Matthew 28 from verse 16. Then the 11 disciples went to Galilee, to a mountain where Jesus had told them to go. When they saw him, they worshipped him, and some doubted still. Then Jesus came to them and said, "All authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me. Therefore go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, and teaching them to obey everything I have commanded you, and surely I am with you always, to the very ends of the age." I'm not sure about you when you hear that verse, the verse in Matthew 28, but there's a word, just like when pulling him to the brainwell, go and do something. There's the words of Jesus in this passage that rings through my head quite often. Do you know what the word might be? Go. These were Jesus' last words. They're important. We were voyagers. Somewhere along the track, Moana and her family stopped going. They found an island and they settled. They forgot the ropes. They forgot how to navigate. They forgot that they were voyagers. They forgot. And once you forget, 2 or 3 generations, you forget, you can't even pass on the knowledge of how to go be navigators, be voyagers, be explorers. Because you don't have the skills anymore. Jesus' last words were go. His disciples went out into the world. They went east, they went west, they went north, they went south, they went everywhere. They went. They didn't forget Jesus' last words and said, oh, we'll stay here. That's okay. I know he said go, but I'm comfortable here. We were voyagers. It's so easy to find a comfortable island, make a nice house, drink on the coconuts every morning, use the husks to make ropes, make more houses, feed your pigs and your chickens. It's so easy to get comfortable, isn't it? Even though Jesus said go, when did we stop going? Just like in Moana, they stopped. And no one knows exactly what that point was when they stopped. But my mind, looking at the Salvation Army's history, back in the 1960s, 1970s, we stopped going in a lot of forms of the word, didn't we? Can you see that? In the early days, we went out to every country we could. We were on fire to tell the world about the love of God, to share the salvation that was the salvation in our name. We were the Salvation Army. We went out and told people the good news about the loving God that we serve and love and His saving power. But I reckon in the 70s or 80s, there was a quote that I heard years ago. I'm trying to remember the words now. It was pretty much that we became entertainers in a lot of ways, didn't we? We loved our bands and songsters in our churches, and they weren't necessarily bad. But our focus changed, become performers, and changed to the marching field, and marched down the streets and parades, and played music. And that's great in itself. I love worship, don't get me wrong. But if we change the focus onto the things inside the church, and forget about the outside of the church, we've forgotten Jesus' last words, haven't we? To go. When did Moana and her family stop being voyagers? When did we as the Salvation Army forget that we were the Salvation Army? But we just become the army and forgot about the salvation part. The world more than ever needs to know the salvation power of God, don't they? I'm sure you've got more than people you can count on your hands and toes of people that need the saving power of Jesus. We were once voyagers. When did we march out of that and onto the parade field? At some point in history, we stopped being voyagers, metaphorically speaking. Hopefully you caught on to that. I'm not actually talking about us being voyagers, but we were pioneers. We were the Salvation Army. We were red hot, on fire for God. We couldn't keep ourselves quiet talking about the love of God, could we? Read our history. Read the history of the Salvation Army. We were cutting edge evangelists. In some cases, we might have even hit people over the heads with bottles. You know, we were so in love with God that we wanted the world in love with Him. Can we say that today? We might still be in love with Him. I hope we are. But we seem to almost be keeping to ourselves in a lot of ways. We're not on the streets. Sure, we've got some good stuff happening. We've got a breakfast program where some people come and we can feed people. But I can't remember the last person I spoke about Jesus with someone at breakfast. Even when the people do come to us, what is it? Are we afraid? Have we forgotten the ropes? Have we forgotten how to evangelize? Have we forgotten how to navigate, so to speak? There's a lot of questions that go through my mind. I'm not sure if you've heard about William Booth's vision. There's a vision that William Booth had on a bus one day when he was driving through a town. And God showed him there's this massive rock coming out of the water, almost like what you see in Moana. It's a massive rock. And there's some people that's drowning in the ocean around it. And a few of them finally made it to the rock. And they saw all these other people drowning in the ocean around them. And they started pulling them out and saving them from drowning. And some of these people that got up on the rock realised that they needed to start saving these people too. They were drowning in the ocean. Then some of the people that got onto the rock realised, well, I'm okay now. I'll start making myself comfortable and start building themselves homes or playing their music or whatever, while there's people around them drowning still. Some people still on the rock got comfortable and forgot about the people right next to them drowning. It's so easy to do, isn't it? But there's so many people still throwing out ropes, getting people saved from this drowning ocean. But still, there's people that always want to forget about that and get comfortable. There's people drowning around us in this world, in our community. People that don't know the saving power of Jesus yet, that are drowning, metaphorically drowning in the ocean. Whether it's depression, whether it's stress, whether it's some sort of burden, whether it's just not knowing God, we're in the darkness. And obviously that rock in that vision was Jesus. He was the saving rock, the rock of our salvation. It's so easy for us, and hopefully we don't do this. And if we have forgotten about the people drowning around us, open the eyes of my heart, Lord. We just still singing, won't we? Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see what the need is around us. People are drowning in the darkness, being lost to eternity. We were once voyagers. So hopefully, like in that clip of Moana, we can realise that. Get our boats out. Go back out there. Be the Salvation Army we were raised up to be. Let's not be afraid of telling people about the love of Jesus. Because you'll be surprised if you start talking about it, how many people realise that that's what they're needing. They know they're needing something, but they're drowning. When you're drowning, you don't see straight to you. But once you see the light, once you get onto the rock, it's awesome. We were once voyagers. Hopefully we can see the people perishing and dying around us. Maybe not physically, but spiritually. We need to be able to see that, don't we? We need to be able to see through God's eyes. There are so many people perishing around us. And I love that William Booth's vision that God gave with him so he can pass on to us. That once we're on the rock, don't get comfortable. Don't find your island and settle there and never go past the reef again. I'm not sure if you're putting it together in your head, but when we're talking about the island and being comfortable, we're talking about this building, the church. I don't want you to miss that. So let me spell it out. This is our island. This church, this building, these programs can be our island. And we can forget to go past the reef, our safety nets. We need to get on our boats, metaphorically speaking again, and get out there. Be the people who God raises us to be. To be voyagers, to be pioneers, to be missionaries, to be the Salvation Army. Jesus' last words, Matthew 28. Go. Don't stay. Jesus' disciples could have been so comfortable, couldn't they? They could have just settled where they were. For those days waiting for Jesus to come back, they could have got very comfortable in their rooms praying, couldn't they? Could have stayed in that room and prayed. But they got sent out into the scary, scary, scary world where nearly all of them were martyred. It wasn't easy for them, was it? But still they heard Jesus' last words of go, and they could not obey it. They had to obey it, didn't they? Because in my Bible, I've got the red words for Jesus. And right there in red word, it says go. Go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit, and teach them to obey everything I've commanded you. But I love at the end there, it's finished with, and surely I'm with you always to the very end of the age. So he's not going to leave us alone to go and be voyagers without giving us what we need. We want voyagers. I hope there's something for us to think about today.